Alright, guys. So, this is kind of a take on, like... Well, I never know what to call it, but basically, this isn't so much like faction wars, which I do on Patreon. This is more of more like it'd be more like a first encounter, like a first contact kind of thing. And as you can see, what if the Klingon Empire visited Pandora? Now, you're thinking, why of all races the Klingon Empire? Well, we're gonna get into that. Instead of, like, the Imperium of Man, or the Federation, or the UNSC, this is going to be more of a... there's a reason why it would be the Klingon Empire. So yeah. This is the first time I've done anything with Avatar that isn't involving bending. So, yeah. Let's see how this goes. So, let's get started with this video. So, what would it be like if instead of the, Earth coming to... the Earth coming to Pandora, it was the Klingon Empire. Now, if you're wondering as to which Klingon Empire this would be, doesn't really matter, honestly. It really just kind of all ends the same, really. So, let's say the Klingons discover Pandora and discover that the ore that they have is similar to dilithium, which they need to power their ships. So, they would, of course, send exploratory teams, and that's where the Na'vi would attack. The Na'vi tribes would attack their people, and you may be thinking, well, the Na'vi are outgunned, like, obviously they have phasers. Like, that's, like, phasers and weaponry. Yeah, but so did mankind, they had guns and big airships. The Klingons also are not used to, like, jungle fighting. Kronos is a very desolate world. So I feel like, honestly, if it, like, first encounter, like a Klingon scout team went down there to the planet, the first thing they would encounter, and also, are we going to talk about, like, breathability and all that? No. I imagine they would whip up some, like, knowing Klingon tech, they would probably, they would probably whip up, like, some kind of just cockamamie, like, air rebreather for them, and just be like, that'll work, it's shoddy, but fuck it, it'll work. Because that's the base of all Klingon technology is fuck it, it'll work. That's really how it comes down to it, is fuck it, it works. So, anyway, so let's say they come down there, they encounter the Na'vi, and a battle breaks out. Even some of the Klingons are killed in battle with the Na'vi, who know the terrain. They have poisonous weaponry. They're taller. They probably have a strength advantage over them, and the Remainers return back to report what they've seen. And yeah, this is the part where you think, well, the Klingons obviously are going to go bombard the planet. No, Klingons have a lot more honor than that, and unlike the Federation, they don't respect the whole, first contact code. What they're basically gonna do is, like, all right, we're not, like, I'm sure that the ship that would encounter Pandora, like, the ship's crew would be like, should we commence bombardment, sir? It's literally one bird of prey could probably just glass the the whole tribe. And that's when the Klingons are like, no, we're gonna go back down there and fight them on, there'd be no honor, orbital bombardment. And yes, I know, someone on here, well, actually, the war, during the Klingon Wars, yes, I know about the Klingon Wars. It can't, there's a difference here, because this is a lower evolved tribe, and I've read a lot of books where, I've read a lot of the Star Trek books, and again, Star Trek canon is always tenuous when it's not the TV shows, and even then, but you have to understand that, like, a lot of books, it dictates in the Klingon novels that, like, they have gone down, and they kind of consider it dishonorable to bombard a planet that is lower technology. They want to go fight. If the people down there are hostile, then guess what? They're gonna go down there and kill you personally. It wasn't the same with, like, the Klingon Wars with Earth and the Federation. The difference there was that was a more evolved, Earth and the Federation were a more evolved race, so, a more evolved enemy. So they were kind of, like, using less than kind techniques, apparently. Also, they didn't, like, the Klingons also didn't observe the Federation as a threat, so they were kind of like, it's alright. They're just animals. So, let's say Klingons decide to go back down there in force. And I'm talking they're packing batleths, they're packing phasers, guns. They are ready for combat. They are totally ready for combat and ready to ready to conquer the world. This is the thing where I think it really sets apart. Where I really do believe the Klingon Empire wouldn't try to be like, oh, you can bow to us. I feel like that would be the first thing they would do, actually, now that I think about it. I think the first thing they would try to do is kind of like, listen, you can fight us or you can bow. Either way, this is now our world. You understand that, right? We're the Klingons. We don't do this whole peace and love thing. You can either accept it or you can die screaming. Those are your options right about now. Like, that's the thing, is that it's not like the human race, which is like, yeah, we have a military force, but we're here for a mining operation. No, the Klingons are here because this is a world that doesn't belong to any other empire, and they want more worlds in their wars with the Romulans and the Cardassians, and depending on which timeline it is, maybe the Federation too. So that's the big thing. Now, the Klingons, I think, would kind of have a little respect for the Na'vi. I feel like there would be some respect in that kind of warrior tribal culture. I feel like there would be some legit okay, they're warriors, they're protecting their homeland, and they fight like warriors. They fight and they were willing to fight against an enemy that is clearly stronger than them. Although yes, the Na'vi clearly have a massive size difference over them, and they have connection to wildlife. But Pandora is not and their wildlife is not unlike the wild creatures the Klingons of on Kronos would encounter. It would be just a tropical landscape, and even then, in some of the iterations, it said that Kronos was a lush homeworld for a while before shit went sideways. So yeah, like I said, if the Klingons show up to your doorstep and you aren't under any other empire already, just lie down. But here's the thing: I feel like the Klingons, like I said, would have some kind of honor to the empire, to the respective tribes if they're willing to fight this hard for their world. But the thing of it is, this is not gonna be there's no ceasefire. There's no oh, we're gonna reach out and have a program for them. To educate them or, try to assimilate them into understanding human culture. There's none of that. They're going to cut right... the Klingons are always a cut-to-the-chase kind of race. So they're going to come in and they're going to be boot, ant meet boot. Or, in this case, blue person meet batleth. And I think it would be a bloody... I do think that the Na'vi would put up a fight, but here's the thing. Klingons don't fuck around like humans do. These are, the Klingon Empire is all about brutal efficiency. And if it really comes down to it, if they, by some miracle, and there's no Jake Sully here there's no Jake Sully in this scenario where the Na'vi learn how to fight against the humans and have, human soldiers on their side. No. If the Klingons, if the Na'vi really pissed off the Klingons good and hard enough, that they would probably go, okay, fire a few photon torpedoes down at that encampment, would you? Great. Yeah, like I said, I don't think they'd do that at the beginning. I feel like the Klingons would go down there and face them head on. But if it really came down to it, yeah, this is basically like the Native Americans encountering the colonists 10 times over, or in this case, the Mayans encountering the Spanish, it's your basic colonizer stuff. Only the problem is there's no conversion, there's no reach out program, there's no assimilation to try to bring people into your world. No, this is the Klingon Empire. As Martok once said, we don't make peace with other races, we conquer them. So yeah. If it was the Klingons, this would probably be a 3-week conflict, a month max. If it really was bothersome. But they would. Here's the thing: this would not be a battle that would allocate forces. This would just be 2 ships and sending troops down there to quell to quell tribes. That's really it. So yeah. So there you go, guys. Just a fun video. I don't think I'll be doing... I don't really care much for James Cameron's Avatar. I've never really cared for it. Is it a pretty movie? Yeah, I still haven't watched Way of Water, and I have no plans to watch it. I've just had no interest in that world. So, yeah, I just don't care. I just don't care about it. But I was like, you know what? Like, I thought it'd be kind of cool to talk about, like, what if another race showed up at the Na'vi's doorstep that wasn't willing to be, like, to an extent, want to have, like peaceful relations, again, to an extent. And this kind of came up, and I don't really do a lot of, and I want to do more Star Trek videos. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you think it would be like if the Klingon Empire came to Pandora? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.